Hornbeam double air layer. Step 1.
Select the material you wish to air layer, considering the cut locations that will achieve desirable trunk movement and taper for each future tree. Finalise the desired cut locations. With a standard trunk chop to achieve taper in tree 1, tree 2 and tree 3 would simply be wasted material. You can carry out multiple air layers at any one time, providing each section has its own buds and foliage connected to it.
Step 2.
Ensure that you have all equipment and material close to hand. These include the following: a sharp cutting knife, rooting hormone, fresh sphagnum moss, some clear plastic sheeting, some black plastic sheeting, some durable tape and some secateurs.
Step 3.
Cutting the air layered rings. Start by using a very sharp knife. Cut a deep slit through the bark around the entire circumference of the branch at the point that you wish the new roots to grow from, exactly where the fingers are pointing to at the top of each ring. Consider cutting at an angle depending on how you wish to plant the new tree, so that the nursery is level with the surface of the soil surrounding it. Next, cut a second slit parallel with the first an inch below. We've taken larger layers. Ideally aim for at least the same width as the diameter of said branch. These cuts need to be deep enough to cut right the way through the bark, phlegm and cambium until you get to the sapwood underneath. Finally, remove the ring of the bark, phlegm and cambium layers between the two slits to reveal the sapwood underneath. Best to even take a small amount of the sapwood as well, just to make sure that there's no cambium left. Any cambium that is left may lead to the tree trying to heal the wound and cause the air layer to fail. Remember, this is much simpler than it all sounds. Essentially just cut a ring around the tree until you get to the wood underneath. And as you're following these steps, always just try and keep in mind the desired form of each of your future bonsai trees. On the next shot, you'll see the lower of the two air layers has already been completed. The upper hasn't been cut particularly well, but because a sharp blade was used, the cambium still has a healthy edge and will root well.
Step 4.
Lightly dust rooting hormone onto the upper edge of the ring, along the cleaner cut bark, phlegm and cambium layers, where you saw the nice green edge in the previous photo. Here you'll see the moss and plastic around the branch, just to demonstrate the alignment. Wrap the clear plastic around the bottom of the ring, tape in place, and once secure, begin filling the slightly damp, fresh sphagnum moss. Ensure that the upper lip of the ring is fully covered. Remember, more moss is better. Once nicely packed in, tape around the top of the plastic to seal in place, as per the lower layer. The purpose of the clear plastic is so that when inspecting the roots in months to come, you'll be able to see them without disturbing anything. Cover the layers with a piece of black plastic to prevent light getting to the future root ball. You only need to use a couple of small pieces of tape so that you can easily remove and inspect when needed. Apologies, I didn't get a picture of this. And you can also actually use foil if you prefer. Then finish by poking a couple of small holes through both layers of plastic to let it breathe and ensure it doesn't become completely waterlogged. And now it's time to wait.
Step 5.
Inspect from time to time and ensure the moss ball never dries out. The roots will grow fastest when in the growing season when the temperature is above 11 degrees Celsius. The air layers in this video were started in late September 2021 and removed in early February 2022. The size of the air layer you're taking will determine the amount of roots you'll need before you can safely separate from the mother tree. Broadly speaking though, if you see lots of nice healthy roots in the sphagnum moss underneath the clear plastic, then you're good to go. 14 weeks later.
Step 6.
Once you can see lots of nice healthy roots like these, simply cut off the branch underneath the new root ball and remove the polythene. But not any of the sphagnum moss, as you will need to be careful of the young roots. I only removed the polythene before cutting on this occasion as I could see how strong the roots were, and it was a nice opportunity for a photo demonstrating the full tree with the air layers. Here you can see I've prepared 2 pots ready to home the 2 new trees once separated from the mother plant. I've used a free draining mix to encourage root growth, but with enough organic material to ensure that the trees are happy and stable until strong. And here we are separating the first of the air layers from the mother plant. Just look at the number of strong healthy roots in that moss ball. And then the second. This little tree will have lovely movement and taper to it. This now leaves just the mother plant in place, which will have its new leader wired further upright once it's got some of its strength back, just to give it the right movement. Which for a relatively young tree has the start of a nice nabari forming. And now just stand back and admire the 3 little bonsai starters you've got going.
Step 7.
For the final step, pot up the 2 new little trees that you've got, remembering to put the entire root ball with the sphagnum moss in place directly into the mix. Ensure they're nice and secure, as it's important there's no movement until the roots are well established. And now stand back and admire again. All 3 trees are very happy in their new homes. Once they've settled in and got their strength up, I'll follow up with part 2 to this video to show the wiring and pruning techniques to transform them all into great little bonsais. Thanks for watching the video. Please do hit the like, subscribe and the notification bell if you found any of this at all useful. Please also feel free to get in touch and let me know how any of your own projects are going. Also, credit to the narrator, Mia, age 9.
Dun 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 dun.